Could be anything in the world, but I can never be you because I stand tall like I'm on my tiptoes, baby. You think a little too small. I got big goals, baby. Hey, where the money at? Look, I just need the info. Pronto, I go and get it.
Well, I saved $60,000 in 3 years. That's not why I have these. I actually hit 60,000 subscribers, and that's why I have these. I'm so excited. Just so happened I have $1 for every subscriber I have.
Pronto, I go and get it, split it with my kinfolk daily, and I'm the type of that might change my.
Welcome everyone to my room. I am so excited to be discussing today how I was able to save $60,000 in 3 years. So in August 2017, I moved to El Paso, Texas, and that's when I started my first job. To my name, I only had about $4,000 or $5,000.
So I go and get it, split it with my kinfolk daily, and I'm the type of that might change my number.
My rent was $696, my water was $40, electric $50, phone $73, car insurance $75, tithe $280, fun $100, food $300, toiletries $50, laundry $6, medicine $10, gas $40, and savings $1,080. My salary was $44,000 at the time, and I took home about $2,800 a month. But on average, in the year that I was in El Paso, I really didn't start saving until January 2018 because I was still trying to figure out how to save and all that. In the 8 months that I was really saving, from January 2018 to August 2018, I saved about $1,000 a month. If I stayed in El Paso for the last 3 years, I would have saved around $36,000 cash. And that's me living in an apartment all on my own. I know a lot of people are like, you live at home, that's why. It goes a lot deeper than that. That's really not why. As I've said multiple times, I could have lived in a room here in Atlanta and save the same amount of cash. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Then in August 2018, I moved back to Atlanta and I moved back home with my family. And I lost $5,000 because the institution I currently work for told me that they would be paying my moving expenses, which was $5,000, but they did not pay it. They verbally told me they would. I should have got it in writing, and they did not. So I was out $5,000. So basically back where I started.
Yeah, that's how you react when people took a slumber on you. Pretty brown skin, baby, I can see the summer on you. You see all the bread, and I know it make you.
So I make $51,000 a year, and my take-home pay. And my take-home pay at first was about $2,900, but now it's about $2,700 because in May 2019, I opened a Roth IRA and a 403B, so my income went down to about $2,700. Rent $0, car insurance $120 to $180. I got a ticket, so tithe is $270 to $290. Roth IRA $300. Phone range from $75 to $95. Food $300 to $350, toiletries $50, fun $100 to $300, gas $75 to $90, gym $0 to $35, and then my savings range from $1,000 to $1,500. Sometimes it would be more because sometimes my YouTube check would come in and I'd get maybe $100 here, $150 there. Everyone's like, you don't have rent. That's why you can save all your money. No, how I could have saved the same amount of cash, which is $40,000 of cash that I have. I could have saved that exact same amount by not living at home. I would have not had my tithe. Sorry, that's $270 I get back. I would not have gotten ahead on my Roth IRA. That's a huge difference between my Texas budget and my Georgia budget is I got ahead on my retirement. So I would not have been able to get ahead on my retirement if I did not live at home. And then I would not have been able to get my 403B or 457 plan, which is probably around, it's a little bit more, but probably around $200. So that is $770 that I have gotten back out of my budget that I was not spending anyway.
Make you wonder, don't you? I ain't surprised at all. Seen them rise and fall. Went up the mountain, it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top, I found some relief. I finally got some peace. Carry on, but please don't mess up the moon. I worked too hard for it. No, I need it, beat it, before you mess up the mood. Yeah, ooh, I worked too hard for it, and I need it, so please don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Yeah, I worked too hard for it. Yeah, don't mess up the mood. Oh, it's so crucial, I gotta keep it. It's in the ass everywhere. No, it's not a secret, and I bet they didn't think that I'd ever.
It's 3 retirement accounts and a tithe. So $770. Some people are like, how can you afford $770 in rent? So when I was in El Paso, it was only $700. No one wants to live there, so I understand. However, I'm in Atlanta And the secret to this, I said in my last video too. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to set it up for how I was able to save 60K. You rent a room. We'll go on Craigslist right now. And be careful with Craigslist. I feel like everyone should know that. Let's see, rent Atlanta. I have found a bedroom that is very close to my current location. I probably shouldn't say that. And it is $700 furnished. You probably will have a roommate and you pay $700. There you go. And I have $70 left, so that'll be my expenses. But there are things you can do. Try being my size, Amy. Don't know how it is. I love that. I love those girls. So on average, from August 2018 to now, I have saved about $1,200 a month. So as I have said, I would have saved the same amount of cash, which is $40,000, even if I didn't live at home. However, I would not have been able to save the almost $20,000 towards my retirement. So if you want to say that is the reason I would never have gotten $20,000 in my retirement accounts not living at home, yes, that is the truth.
Coming in, how you better get out the kitchen. Yeah, I can make a hit on whatever you pitching. Baby, let me fill up whatever you missing, or you like it up at.
So I have a Roth IRA, and let's go on my Fidelity account. At the time of this video, I have $9,813 in my Roth IRA. I have been giving $300 a month since, I want to say, fall 2018. In the lifetime of my account, it has grown 14%. So I feel like that's pretty good. I don't know anything about retirement. You're going to need to ask somebody else. You're going to need to talk. So I don't know. And I have my rollover IRA. So I have $4,824 in there. That is also grown at 15%. My rollover IRA is from all of my money in Texas. I just rolled it over into my Fidelity account. So I didn't have my money in Texas. I wanted my money like with me. I also started my 403B plan. I think I put around $120 a month into it, and that has $1,847 and has grown only 3%. Like the investments through my job is like. Then I also have a 457B plan. It has grown the exact same, and that's also through your employer. And I have $1,847 there. So that is for a grand total of $18,332 in my retirement account. I would never have been able to get to this almost 20K without living at home. I definitely want to say that. So now that we have gotten how I've got to $60,000 in 3 years, I really want to talk about my $1 million inheritance, which is so weird to say. I really want to take a moment to discuss privilege, how I have benefited from privilege, and how that has led me to be able to save all of this amount of money. I did not get here on my own. I am not self-made, and I had so much poured into me at a young age where I am able to save money like this. So let's start with where I come from. My maternal grandmother, her name is Thais, and she was a housewife. She finished the 8th grade. She did not go on to high school because she needed to provide for her family. My grandfather, August, he finished high school. He did not go to college. I think he went but dropped out. He became like a mail clerk. They had 7 children. They lived in a 2-bedroom home in the lower 9th ward of New Orleans, Louisiana. Very impoverished. All the kids slept in one bedroom and the parents slept in the other. They wanted to pour into their children a good education. All the kids went to private school. So that already is a huge leg up because my grandparents had the thought in their mind, even though I couldn't do it, even though I couldn't make it all the way through school, I want my kids to do it. Even though they didn't have any money, school was number one. And I remember my mom telling me that she might have had like 3 outfits total, like inside clothes, outside clothes, and maybe like her uniform. That was it. On my father's side, my paternal grandmother was a secretary. Don't really know what that means, but they were like, she's a secretary. Okay. And her name is Madeline. My paternal grandfather, his name is Rudolph. Yes, that's his name. I really want to name my son Rudolph, but I know he'll get made fun of like his entire life. My grandfather was made fun of his entire life. Like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed. And he was an electrician. Both of them finished high school. They did not go to college. They had 3 kids and they sent all 3 of their children to public school. They had a little more money than my mom's side, but still very humble beginnings. Both of my parents made it out. They both decided to become physicians. My dad went to Howard Med. My mom went to LSU Med. And then both of my parents met at Howard University, where I went to undergrad. They met there for their residency programs. They met playing ping pong, which I thought was weird. They're like, oh, night rotation, let's play ping pong. I was like, whatever. So then they had 2 daughters, me and my sister, and they sent us to private school our entire life. My mother felt as if getting a good education would get us to have a better life. So I say that to say, I have had generational sacrifices that have come before me that have uplifted me and given me the ability and the mind to do these things, to be able to save, to have the discipline, to learn. I had piano lessons. I had soccer practice. I learned how to swim. They wanted me to be on the swimming team, but my hair was not having it. I had tutors. I had a loving childhood. I never went hungry. I'm still driving the 2010 Honda that my mother bought me in 2012. That car is 9 years old and I took care of it, and I'm still driving a 9-year-old car, but she bought it. When I got my scholarship to Howard, I still had my parents pay my room and board, and they gave me pocket money. They have been saving since I was a baby for these moments. I think it's interesting when people are like, I work hard too. It's like, yes, you have. And I don't want to take that away from anybody. I don't want to take it away from myself either. Like, yeah, I worked hard, but I was given the tools to know how. When we were growing up, we never vacationed. All of our money went to education. I've never even been out of North America. I haven't been out to any other continent. We didn't have like the fresh J's or like whatever people buy. Our money went to school, and I'm so grateful for where I've come from, but I feel like I have worked hard, but I was given so much more than the average person. And you have to acknowledge your privilege when you are making videos like this. Like, oh, you can do it too. You can save this amount of money. You don't have to go into debt. But it's like, also share where you have come from so that you're telling the full story. I was dealt a really, really good hand in this life, and I took advantage of that and was disciplined and determined and worked my ass off not to have debt. There are several people I know who are in the exact same situation as me. Friends who have similar backgrounds. A lot of them have an exorbitant, is that a word? Exorbitant amount. They have a lot of debt. Some have no financial literacy. Like, I threw myself in books. My parents never taught me how to do finances. I just naturally knew I didn't want to be in debt and read the books, listened to the podcast, worked my ass off not to be. Just because you have money does not make you smart with money. Someone who makes $500,000 a year can spend $500,000 a year. And at the end of the year, they have nothing. If I inspire you to live your best life, that's all I'm here on this planet to do. But for those women who feel as if you can't get here, or that you can't save because of your life circumstances, I'm here to tell you you can, because I've seen it done so many times. There are so many people who have done it, and you can too. There are thousands of people out there who have half the resources I do and are light years ahead of me. I just need to be transparent in the fact that I never had to struggle financially. That is not my story. You may have to save a couple more years than I had to. You may have to get a weekend job. You may have to sacrifice more than I did, but you still can do it. Why? Because I've seen it done a million times. You just have to believe that you can. I am 1,000% positive that all the money that has been poured into me since 1991, when I was born, definitely about $1 million. It has already been given to me through my experiences, through my schooling. Now, do I feel guilty? I did for a while. I don't anymore. I cannot apologize for where I've come from. But what I can do moving forward is give it back. And that's exactly what I plan to do.
When the blessings accrue, hey, who you talking to? Just know I ain't no regular fool. Could be